Alright, so we're just coming off of the turn for the Overlord, and we're starting a fresh new turn for the heroes, so they'll go ahead and start. And I think what I'm talking about here is the goal, that what I need to do is try to get into those chests, what I need to be doing here, or my pathway to get there is. And this is when I'm talking about the activations for the two in the room. They can't activate because it's a closed door and they can't see what's actually going on. So the only one left to activate is the Banshee out there in the middle of the room, and the activation cards that she has with her. So, and right now it looks like the only ones that are left on the board are the heroes and the Banshee. And there's no actual minions on the board or any ghost at this current point in time. So what I need to be doing is getting into the chest in there to pick up those hearts. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is roll the combat dice for, I believe that is Rorden there. He's going to roll his 4 dice, and the treasure chest gets 3. So I rolled a 6, a 5, a 4, and a 1. The treasure chest rolled 2 dice that was 6s, but still one of my hits came in, and that all it takes is to break open the treasure chest. So I went ahead and claimed the second piece, the second heart for the mission, or the second piece to the heart, I'm sorry. And so that's going to finish out Rorden's turn. So we go ahead and draw our next card for the Invisible Overlord, flipping the token on Rorden to signify his turn's done. And we do that, and it is not an interrupt card, so we're going to go ahead and continue on and pick which hero to activate. I think the choice is to try to get into that door right there, and to do that I will need a melee person to do that. So the only choice is that the treasure chest will need a break ward, but to first get into the room we'll need a melee character to break down that door. So the only one to do that and activate is Orloff. Or the other thing, if we could actually throw a spell onto that enemy there, we might be able to incapacitate him. But the issue then becomes, I don't think we can see him yet because of the way the board's set up. That enemy would not be visible. So I think what the best movement here is just going to be to move the Orloff character into place so he can go ahead and do the melee action. And remember, the Banshee doesn't you don't have to stop your movement when you come in contact with him. It's just one of the rules. He does not stop movement. So Orloff's going to get his 5 combat dice. The door is going to get 3. It has an armor of 3, so I'm going to ignore any 1s, 2s, and 3s on my blue combat roll. Okay, so I got 1 I have to ignore, but the door rolled really well. It looks like it rolled, or no, I rolled really well. So a 6, 3 5s. The door rolled a 6 and a 5, blocked 2 of my hits. So 1 hit came in, it was enough to bring the door down. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. Remove the token. And signifies that Orloff's turn is finished. So now we're going to flip over our next card, and it is Interrupt. Or maybe it's not. I don't think it is an Interrupt. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and continue on, and I know we're going to go ahead and activate the Wizard. Okay, just going to find which is going to be the best one to do. We're probably going to use a spell there on the skeleton warrior. Try to see which one's going to be best. Choices. It's always good to use your spells when you're using the wizard, because if you're not using your spells as much as you can when you're doing it, you're really underpowering yourself, because that's what he's good at. You should always try to use up the maximum amount of spells, as many minors as you can, or as many majors as you can. think I'm trying to decide between using Burn or Flame Bolt. I haven't decided yet. I think we're going to use Burn, and I think I'm going to use one of those Power Crystals. I'm pretty sure I'll use the Power Crystal that I always do, just to make it more powerful. So that Power Crystal 2 is going to give me 2 additional die on the top of the 4 that I get for the spell, so I'll be rolling 6 total dice. And the Skeleton Warrior only gets 2 dice for his defense. And with Skeleton Warriors, we ignore any 1s and 2s that are rolled. Okay. So those are discarded. 3 of them are discarded. So we rolled a 5 and a 4 and a 3. And he only rolled 2 dice, so we know all 3 of those hits came in, so he is out of the game. So we finished his turn off, so we'll go ahead and trying to fix some of the things that came loose. Okay, it's not an interrupt. So we only have our final person to activate, which is the Ranger. However, there is nothing for the Ranger to do. There's nowhere for him to go, and there's really not a whole lot of reason to move him, so I'm just going to stay in place and go ahead and keep him there, not waste any unnecessary actions. So we're in our Overlord turn now. I'm going to reshuffle the deck because I've run out of cards. So we drew our first card, now we'll be drawing our second one once I finish your shuffle here. I need to make sure this is good and shuffle. Now remember, there's not a whole lot going on the board because we only have the Banshee up, and she's just going to have to use her spell cards that she has. There's no other choices that she has, so it'll probably be raising a Ghost or the Banshee Wail. The Shriek, I'm sorry, not the Banshee Wail, but the Shriek. And it looks like she's going to go ahead and use the Shriek. And who's she using it against? I'm thinking she's either going to be using it against the Wizard or the Ranger. Okay, so it's 5 dice. So it's a good amount. And she's actually going for the Spellcaster. So a Spellcaster is only going to get 2 its dice. Okay, so it's like 4, 3, and 3. I don't even have enough to block it, so at least 1 hit comes in. So he is 2 damage away from being knocked down. That's not good. It's close. It's very close. So, and that's going to finish out that turn, and there's nothing else that she can, I think maybe she can do a Raised Ghost. Or she may be able to do 1 spell because they only get to do 1 major spell, and there's nothing else that she can do. So she's already activated, and so we're going to have to discard that second Overlord card, and now we're adding another card, get rid of it, basically whittling down our timer. And once that's finished, we'll go ahead and refresh everything back up as far as the cards and our player tokens, and then continue on with the round. So we know the first thing we need to do is get in there to get that treasure chest open. It is important. We also need to get that other door. We're trying to maybe bring Rorden into the fight a little more. Quite possible. Trying to see if I have enough range to cast one of my minor short spells. I think what I'm thinking is to try to get him over there in the fight. I'll be casting the Brisk Work on Rorden, just to try to get him over there as much as he can, because he only has a movement of 6. So we don't want to waste more turns than we have to trying to get him over to the door. Because we also know once we break open that next door, we'll also need to go in there and melee that treasure chest. So we want to try to get both of the melee people over there. So he's going to go ahead and move in to break down that ward, which all he needs to do is cast the break ward spell. No dice. And that gives us the third piece to the heart. And we only have one more to collect. And that's going to finish the wizard's turn out, but that may not be all he's got to do. I believe he's going to, I believe I am going to cast a couple more things. I know I want to at least cast Crystallize. I should be casting Crystallize because do that on every turn to generate crystals. That's a good thing. And then we'll, as far as using the Magister trait, you can do 3 minor spells in a turn now, instead of 2. So here we are going to roll Crystallize, roll 2, so that'll give me a Power Energy Crystal 1. We'll add that to the stack to be recharged, and then we should have one more minor spell left. Looks like we're either going to cast Feet of Stone or Corrode. Almost going back, I think I may have made a mistake when I did this because I shouldn't have been able to really even know that that was there because that door was closed, so oops. But I don't think it really, if I remember correctly, I don't think it really mattered because I wasn't even able to do anything to him that turn anyway. So we flip over a card after that activation, and there were no interrupts. So now we need to get, looks like going with Rorden or Orloff, taking him over there to try to break that door down. So yeah, I think casting the Feet of Stone was kind of useless because by the time it becomes the turn, then it'll have already worn off. Alright, so I roll a 4, 2 3s, and a 2. The door did pretty well. I think it blocked all my hits, so nothing came through, and that door remained shut. Next card is an Interrupt. Over there are no models. I think she's going to cast her Ghost. So she's going to launch a ghost at us, the Banshee. I think we're deciding where to put that ghost. Shriek would have been refreshed after the Overlord's last turn. I think the choice now is to raise that ghost. Most likely it's going to either be towards the ranger or the spellcaster, and I think since the spellcaster has the most damage to it, the Overlord is always going to look off to pick off the weakest character. So I think it was a smart move to put the ghost there, the Overlord, because then it's not going to get a free action, free strike against it, but it is going to be close enough to move into attack on either an interrupt or during the turn. Oh, actually, no. That was right. He did good I did good by putting there because I was basing the wrong way. So this is actually in my rear arc all the way. And that was how the was not able to get a free strike on me, or I wasn't able to get a free strike on it. Just checking my camera placement here. Exciting stuff, I know. should probably cut this, but probably not gonna. Okay, so we know once we raise that ghost too that that's the only actions it's gotta have. It can't attack me after it's been raised. So that's gonna push out the interrupt card and then make us go back to the heroes. So we know we've already activated the wizard. We've already activated Orloff. So we have the ranger and Rorden still left. Looks like I am thinking, probably talking. I don't remember about what. So we're counting to see how far that Rorden can get in just his one turn. See which would be the best placement for him. Now we're checking to see if the ranger has line of sight on the ghost, which I believe is a good line of sight, no obstructions, and does have good range. So I'm thinking what the plan is we're going to shoot, we're going to go ahead and activate the ranger and shoot the ghost, just because it's really no other chance right now. We got to make it. So 4 dice for the ranger, and I believe it's 3 for the ghost. I'm not sure. I'll never see how many I drop here. Maybe, yeah, 3 dice. But it looks like I rolled very well, even though I have to discard anything that's... I think anything that was a 3, a 1, 2, or 3 I had to discard. But looks like I got more than... I had to get at least 1 hit on the ghost, and I did. So that was a pretty big win for me. Oh no, I didn't get the shots. I did not get the shot. But I remember by looking at my sure shot that I was able to actually, if I rolled a 6, then I was able to get it. That dice roll just saved my butt. That was freaking awesome that I saw that sure shot card. I remembered about it. I can't remember why I put the break in there, but I did. Oh, I went back and I think I paused the video to go see my rolls before just to make sure that they were good and to double check, but I think they were. And that was able, when I rolled the 6 because of the sure shot card, because I was re-rolling a hit that didn't penetrate the armor, I got the 6. I got exactly what I needed, and all it took was 1 wound to take the ghost off. So that one was spectacularly in my favor, and it was a really good play, because that ghost would have probably knocked the wizard down within 2 turns. That's all it would have taken, was 2 turns, maybe even less if the banshee was going to shriek again and then the ghost hit me. That would have been 2 hits right there. So, and here I am just double checking line of sight, making sure it was good, making sure I had good range, which I did. I wanted to make sure all the things were good to go for that shot. So, and it was a good play. So I think we've already flipped over our Invisible Overlord card, and there was no activations that anybody could have taken. So we went ahead and just activated the last hero, which was Rorden, and he's got to move as far as he can. He's trying to make it to that next door. And so we're going to flip our card here in just a second. And even if it's an interrupt, we're moving actually to the Overlord turn. And even if it's an interrupt or anything, nobody can act. There's no actions that the Banshee can take. So we just go ahead and discard the 2 cards altogether because there's nothing we can do. And then we flip over our next Overlord card for the timer, and then we refresh everything back to each card gets a 45-degree refresh. So all my spells are ready for me again. And see, the Breakstone, it never, even though I wasn't supposed to be able to cast it, it didn't matter because I never even got in that room to do anything. Yeah, I think I'm just trying to make a decision about where I need to go and who I need to activate. So it's either going to be Rorden or Orloff because they need to get that door broken down. I think I'm gonna go with Orloff because he's gonna get a 5 attack dice to the door's 3. So we need as much muscle to that door as we can get. And the door rolled pretty poorly. I think I rolled very good, 2 5s, or 1 5 and 2 1s, so I at least got one hit. I think I rolled a 6 or 2 6s, so I definitely broke that door down. Finish with him, and then we're going to make it to the last, or the next card here, which is a no interrupt. So we're going to continue on with our heroes. Have to get I think what we're doing is we're going to activate the wizard now, and actually one of the things would be to maybe cast he's going to cast burn. So now that we can see him, the wizard's able to actually cast stuff on him now, and I believe burn does not require line of sight. If it does not require line of sight, he should be able to make it. So he's burning a single crystal, which is going to give him an extra die. The burn looks like it is a major spell. So that'll be 4 dice plus the additional 1 from the card. And then the 2 combat dice from the skeleton. Okay, so we got a 6, a 5, and a 4. Skeleton. Oh, this is a revenant. This is a dwarf revenant. Okay, so looks like 3 hits came in on him. So that would have a 6, a 5, and a 4 beat out his 4, or 5, 4, and 3. So he's completely off the board. Another good solid move by the wizard, which then opens up the way for I believe Rorden to go in there. So we do have an interrupt now. And the interrupt's going to go to the Banshee. And the only thing she's got is the Shriek. So she is going to Shriek the Denor, the wizard. It's a major spell, so she won't get it for another 2 turns. And that is I believe that's a 4 dice attack. I think I've got it transposed here. Okay, so two dice on my end and 5 for her. So there's not a lot of chance I'll be surviving this Shriek unless she rolls fairly poorly. So she had 2 dice that she had to discard because they were too low. I did not block all the hits coming in, so there's only one more hit that the wizard can take before he is knocked down. Crippled, I guess I should say. So that's going to finish that interrupt out, and we have one more left, which is Rorden. Or I have Rorden and the Ranger, but he's going to try to activate Rorden to get in there for that treasure chest. So we have 6 spaces, and it was able to make it there without a problem. And the final thing he's going to do is attack that treasure chest, which only needs 2 to break it. And any 1s and 2s will be ignored. Alright, so I had 2, a 4 and a 1, and one of my 3s beat it, so that means the treasure chest was opened. And we got the final piece of the heart, which is the last part of the mission we needed to complete. So that finishes it out. And there's some flavor text that I will be reading, but I don't have it in front of me, so